नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। As yesterday is Radhashtami, I wanted to sing one more song on Radha Rani's for the glories of Srimati Radharani. Jai Radhe, Radhe Radhe. नव नव रंगी त्रिभंगी जया, श्याम सुअंगी श्यामा। नव नव रंगी त्रिभंगी जया, श्याम सुअंगी श्यामा। जय राधे जय हरि प्रिये, श्री राधे सुखधामा। नव नव रंगी त्रिभंगी जय जय, श्याम सुअंगी श्यामा। जय राधे जय हरि प्रिये, श्री राधे सुखधामा। जय राधे जय 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 राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय कृष्णा कृष्णा, जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा। जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय कृष्णा कृष्णा, जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा। श्यामा गौरी नित्य किशोरी, प्रीतम जोरी श्री राधे। श्यामा गौरी नित्य किशोरी, प्रीतम जोरी श्री राधे। रसिक रसीलो चैल चबीलो, गुणगर बीलो श्री कृष्ण। रास विहारिणी रसबितारिणी, प्रियवुरधारिणी श्री राधे। नव नव रंगी नवल त्रिभंगी, श्याम सुअंगी श्री कृष्णा। जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। प्राण पियारी रूप बुजारी, अति सुकुमारी श्री राधे। प्राण पियारी रूप उजारी अति सुकुमारी श्री राधे। मैन मनोहर महमोदाकर सुंदर बरतर श्री कृष्ण। शोभाशैनी मोभामैनी कोकिल बैनी श्री राधे। शोभाशैनी मोभामैनी कोकिल बैनी श्री राधे। किराटिवंत कामिनी कांत श्री भगवंत श्री कृष्ण। जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। चंडबधानी कुंडरधानी सोबसदानी श्री राधे। चंडबधानी कुंडरधानी शोभसदानी श्री राधे। परम उदार प्रभ आपार अति सुकुवारा श्री कृष्ण। हंसगवानी रजतिरवानी क्रीडकवानी श्री राधे। रूपरसाला नैन विशाला परम कृपाला श्री कृष्ण। कांचन बेली रतिरसरेली अति अलबेली श्री राधे। सब सुख सागर सब गुण आगर रूप उजागर श्री कृष्ण। जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय कृष्णा कृष्णा, जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा। रवणी रम्य तरातरतम्य गुण आगम्य श्री राधे। रवणी रम्य तारतरातम्य गुण आगम्य श्री राधे। धाम निवासी प्रभा प्रकाशी सहज सुहासी श्री कृष्ण। धाम निवासी प्रभा प्रकाशी सहज सुहासी श्री कृष्ण। जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। सत्याह्लादिनी अति प्रियवादिनी उर उन्मादिनी श्री राधे। सत्याह्लादिनी अति प्रियवादिनी उर उन्मादिनी श्री राधे। अंग अंग तौना सरस सलौना शुभंग सतौना श्री कृष्ण। राधा नामिनी गुण अभिरामी हरिप्रिय स्वामिनी श्री राधे। राधा नामिनी गुण अभिरामिनी हरिप्रिय स्वामिनी श्री राधे। हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि श्री कृष्ण। हरे 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 श्री कृष्ण। राधा नामिनी गुण अभिरामी हरिप्रिय स्वामिनी श्री राधे। हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि श्री कृष्ण। जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे, जय कृष्णा कृष्णा, जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा, जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे। श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय, हरिप्रिय की जय, श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय जय जय। All glories to Srimati Radharani and Shri Krishna ki jai jai jai. Another very small song as a prayer by Bhaktivinoda Thakura. वृषभानुसुत चरण सेवनी होई भोये पल्यादासी, वृषभानुसुत चरण सेवनी हई भोये पल्यादासी, श्री राधा सुख सतत सदानी रहिबो अमी प्रयासी, वृषभानुसुत चरण सेवनी हईबो ये पाल्यादासी, श्री राधा सुखे कृष्ण रये सुख जनिबो मने ते आमी, श्री राधा सुख कृष्ण रये सुख जनिबो माने ते आमी, राधा पद छाड़ी श्री कृष्ण संग में, राधा पद छाड़ी श्री कृष्ण संग में कबू ना होई भो कामी, राधा पद छाड़ी श्री कृष्ण संग में कबू ना होई भो कामी, सखी गण मामा परम सुहृत युगल प्रेमेरा गुरु, तदानुगा हुए सेवी बोरदार चरण कल्पतारु, सखी गण मामा परम सुहृत युगल प्रेमीरा गुरु, राधा पक्ष चाड़ी ये जन से जन ये भावे से भावे ठाकी, राधा पक्ष चाड़ी ये जन से जन ये भावे से भावे ठाकी, आमी तो राधिक्षा पक्षपति साधा कबू नाही हेरी ठाकी, आमी तो राधिका पक्षपति साधा कबू नाही हेरी ठाकी, राधा पक्ष चाड़ी ये जन से जन ये भावे से भावे ठाकी, आमी तो राधिका पक्षपति साधा कबू नाही हेरी ठाकी. Translation. For serving the lotus feet of the charming daughter of King Vrishabhanu, I will become a sheltered maidservant of her maidservant. Indeed, I will live only for the happiness of Sri Radha, and I will always endeavor to increase her joy. I will understand within my heart that Krishna feels happiness only when Radha is happy. I will thus never ever dare become desirous of abandoning Radhika's lotus feet to be with Krishna myself. All my associate Sakhis are my supreme well-wishers, my best friends, and they are the teachers of my lessons in conjugal love. Simply by following them, I will serve the lotus feet of Radha, which are just like desire-fulfilling trees. I am forever partial and prone to favoring the party of Srimati Radharani. I will never ever look upon those persons who have abandoned her entourage, whoever they may be, and regardless of what they preach. In the third line here, all my associate Sakhis are my supreme well-wishers, my best friends, and they are teachers of my lessons in conjugal love. In ecstasy, Bhaktivinoda Thakura is revealing that he belongs to Srimati Radharani. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you for the opportunity to sing for Srimati Radharani and for the pleasure of Sri Krishna. Thank you all Vaishnavas. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, Prabhuji. Beautiful.
Thank you for encouraging Prabhu to learn and do more kirtan. Hare Krishna.
Fabulous, really.
With this, I welcome all the devotees to the today's session. We'll start with lesson 29 today, and very important things we'll be studying Raganuga Bhakti, Ragatmika Bhakti. But before this, let us start with the invocation prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasyatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Ajnanathimirantasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshuruन्मीलितं Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manoveştam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tamta Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Visakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatarubhya Cha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Now we offer our obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the sixth Goswamis of Vrindavan. Namo Mahapadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Namah. O most beneficent incarnation, you are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Pannam Tisa Krishnam Sangopang Gostra Parsadam Yagya Sankirtana Praya Yajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Shastra Vicharana Ke Nipnam Sadharma Sansthapato Lokanam Hitakarinam Trivavane Manya Saranya Karo Radha Krishna Padara Vinda Vajanam Anandena Pattaliko Bande Vasanatana Raghujugo Vijiva Gopalado. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of, because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire nasta prayesu abhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I once again welcome all the devotees in this session today with prostrated obeisances unto the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas. We start today's class, but before we start today's lesson 29, let us have the synopsis of lesson 28.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So yesterday we did a fairly lengthy chapter. This lesson 28 emphasizes the importance of spiritual association and the pursuit of devotion in the lives of Rajanatha and Vijay Kumara. So Babaji explains the 64 different limbs of bhaktis as described by Sri Rupa Goswami. And these limbs can be categorized into various aspects of devotional practice, including the basic principles, the prohibitions, the external manifestations, and the inner attitudes. So the basic principles are taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru, taking initiation and instruction from Sri Guru, serving Sri Guru with faith, following the path outlined by the acharyas, inquiring about the procedures of bhajana, renouncing all sense enjoyment for Lord Krishna's sake, residing in holy dhams and near sacred rivers, accepting only what is necessary to sustain life and respecting special days related to Lord Krishna and offering respects to sacred plants and trees. The prohibitions are avoiding association with those who are averse to Lord Krishna, not accepting unqualified disciples, renouncing pretentious endeavors, avoiding excessive reading and novel interpretations of Shastras, avoiding miserly behavior, not being influenced by emotions like lamentation, not disrespecting and or blaspheming the demigods, not harming any living beings, avoiding offenses in deity worship and chanting of the holy name, and not tolerating blasphemy of Lord Krishna and his devotees. External manifestations are adopting outward signs of a Vaishnava like tilaka, wearing syllables of Lord Krishna Nama on the body, accepting the remnants of the offerings of the deities, dancing in front of the deities, offering Dandavat Pranam to Sri Guru, Vaishnava and Bhagwan, raising respectfully upon Lord upon the deities, Guru and Vaishnavas, following the deities in procession, visiting temples of Bhagwan, circumambulating the temple, performing deity worship, serving Lord Krishna like a king, singing, engaging in congregational chanting of the holy name, performing japa and Gayatri mantras, offering artis and reciting bhajanas and mantras, praising or glorifying Lord Krishna, relishing prasadam, drinking Karnamrita, smelling incense and garland fragrances offered to Lord Krishna, touching the deities, having darshana of the deities, witnessing artis and festivals, and hearing about the names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of Lord Hari. The inner attitudes are anticipating Lord's mercy, contemplating on Lord's name, form, qualities, and pastimes, meditation, servitorship, friendship, self-surrender, offering one's dear possessions to Lord Krishna, incessantly performing activities for Lord's pleasure, complete self-surrender to Lord Krishna's lotus feet, serving Tulsi Devi, respecting Srimad Bhagavatam and other devotional scriptures, hearing and singing and glorifying Lord's Dharma, serving the Vaishnavas, celebrating Lord's festivals in Sadhu Sangha, observing the vow of Chaturmasa, celebrating Janmashtami, serving the deities with faith, relishing the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam in Sadhu Sangha, associating with affectionate and advanced devotees, engaging in congregational chanting, and residing in dhammas like Mathura and Vrindavan. So in the dialogue between Vijay Kumar and Babaji, detailed instructions were provided regarding the process of accepting shelter at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. The first is eligibility for devotional service. An aspiring disciple should first attain eligibility to engage in one-pointed devotional service to Lord Krishna. This eligibility is achieved through developing faith in Lord Krishna, which arises from hearing Krishna Katha and Sadhu Sangha. Such association is obtained through the Sikriti accumulated in previous births, and it also brings a mood of surrender. Then second is qualities of a genuine guru. A bona fide guru should be well versed with the Vedas and should have realized the absolute truth and be excessively devoted to Lord Krishna. The guru-disciple relationship should be based on mutual examination, with the disciple accessing the guru's knowledge of tattva and character. The third is acceptance of guru. When a sincere soul finds such a qualified guru, he should accept shelter at guru's lotus feet, becoming his disciple and receiving diksha on receiving shiksha on bhakti, that is instruction. This relationship includes both diksha as well as shiksha. Then the types of gurus, there are two types of gurus. One is the initiating guru and one is the instructing guru. So while there should be only one initiating guru, there can be several instructing gurus. So the Diksha Guru can provide instructions as a Shiksha Guru also. Then we come to when to reject a guru. A guru should be rejected in the following circumstances: if the disciple if the disciple accepted the guru without examining the guru's qualifications and later discovers that he is unable to help him spiritually. Then if the guru has turned towards Mayavad philosophy and has become agnostic to Vaishnavas due to bad association or some other reasons. Then later on, respecting guru with limited knowledge. If a guru lacks extensive spiritual knowledge but is not associated with negative qualities mentioned above, the disciple should still respect and honor him. With his permission, the disciple can seek instructions from another qualified Vaishnava who possesses greater knowledge. The several aspects of devotional path and significance of residing in holy places are discussed later. Inquiry into the Dharma. The Sadhadharma refers to the real Dharma or the righteous path followed by the Acharyas. To inquire about the Sadhadharma means to have an enthusiastic and sincere desire to understand and follow the authentic part of devotion practiced by the true sadhus. Giving up enjoyment for Lord's sake. Giving up material enjoyment for Lord Krishna implies refraining from seeking happiness through sensual pleasures like eating, which is often opposed on the path of devotional service. It involves honoring prasadam rather than indulging in materialistic enjoyment. Then residing in the holy dhams, such as Dwarka and places near sacred rivers like Ganga, Jamuna, is considered highly auspicious because faith and steadiness in devotional service develop in these places due to their association with the divine pastimes of the Lord, in particular Sri Navadvipa Dhama, where Bhagwan's pastime took place. Residing in Navadvipa is said to grant the benefits of residing in Vrindavana. The significance of Mayapur. Sri Mayapur is a part of Sri Navadvip Dhama, holds a special place among holy places. It is considered and most important dham because it is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and manifested his eternal abode Shweta Dvipa. Residing in Mayapur is believed to cleanse one of all offenses and lead to the attainment of Shuddha Bhakti. Shri Prabodhananda Saraswati, a prominent Vaishnava saint, regarded Mayapur as non-different from Sri Vrindavana and even superior in some aspects. Then Babaji discusses various aspects of devotional practice and observances. Adopting appropriate means for sustenance. One should accept as much wealth as necessary to maintain one's life while practicing pure devotional service. Accepting more or less wealth than required can be detrimental to one's spiritual progress. Wealth should be used for one's sustenance and to follow the rules and rituals of bhakti. If one is not qualified for complete detachment, it is acceptable to earn a livelihood through proper means in accordance with the Varnashrama Dharma. Then observing Ekadashi, one should fast, observe celibacy, stay awake throughout the night and do bhajana, and break the fast at appropriate time. Then respecting trees and other elements of nature, one should show respect to trees like alamika, pipala and tulsi leaves. Showing respect to Mother Tulsi, cows, brahmanas and Vaishnavas is considered a virtuous act that can help purify one of sins. Maintaining and offering of obeisances to these is a practice of Vaidhi Bhakta, is a practice that Vaidhi Bhaktas should be engaged in. Then giving up association to those averse to Lord Krishna, it is important to avoid such association, and especially before the stage of bhava arises in one's heart. Such association can weaken one's bhakti. 4 categories of people averse to Lord Krishna are mentioned: those attached to sense of enjoyment, those attached to women, those influenced by Mayavad philosophy and atheism, and those entangled in karma. Then not accepting unqualified disciples. Accepting disciples solely for financial gain is considered a great fault in spiritual life. Disciples should be accepted based on their shraddha and qualifications. Only those with genuine shraddha are qualified to be disciples. Accepting unfaithful and unqualified individuals as disciples is considered an offense. Then giving up pretentious efforts in arranging festivals. It is essential to strike a balance between performing devotional practices and maintaining one's daily life. Engaging excessively in material activities and festivals can lead to attachment to these activities, diverting the mind from devotional service. Then studying, teaching and interpreting books. While studying and teaching scriptures is beneficial, it is crucial to focus on relevant texts and not get entangled in endless interpretations and speculations. Understanding Sambandha Tattva is vital for spiritual progress. Then giving up miserly behavior. Collecting necessary items for sustenance is essential. However, one should not become overly attached to accumulating wealth, as it can lead to anxiety. Instead, maintain a balanced perspective and remember Lord Shri Krishna amidst all life's challenges. Then abandoning negative emotions such as sorrow, fear, anger, greed, madness can hinder one's spiritual progress. It is natural to experience these emotions in life, but they should not dominate one's consciousness. Remembering the Lord can help one overcome these emotions. Then respect for the demigods. While Lord Krishna is the ultimate object of devotion, one should not disrespect the demigods. We should recognize all demigods as servants of Lord Krishna. It is not necessary to worship them separately, but it is important to show respect to them and their worshippers. Then not giving anxiety to others, maintaining a compassionate attitude towards other living entities and refraining from causing them anxiety is a crucial aspect of devotion. Compassion is a fundamental principle of Vaishnava Dharma. Then abandoning offenses in seva and chanting. It is essential to avoid offenses in deity worship and chanting of the holy names. There are specific categories of offenses in both the areas, and these must be carefully abandoned to progress in devotional service. Then dealing with blasphemy of Bhagwan and his devotees. Blasphemy against Sri Krishna and his devotees should not be tolerated. One should not engage in physical conflict, but one should distance oneself from those who blaspheme God. Associating with such individuals can negatively impact one's devotion. Then further service to Tulsi Maharani. There are 9 ways to perform service to Tulsi, which includes having darshana of Tulsi, touching her, remembering her, singing kirtana in her praise, offering obeisances to her, hearing her glories and pastimes, planting her, looking after her, and performing regular daily worship to Mother Tulsi. Then respecting the Shastras, essential Shastras for establishing Bhagavad Bhakti are considered as like Srimad Bhagavatam is the best Shastra with all the essence of the Vedanta. Those who taste the nectar have no inclination for other scriptures. Then the glories of Mathura Dham is the birthplace of Lord Krishna and holds immense significance in devotional practice. By engaging in various activities related to Mathura, that is hearing, chanting, remembering, desiring to visit, seeing, touching, reciting, and serving, all desires are fulfilled by such activities towards the Dharma. Then serving the Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas who are very dear to Lord Krishna are to be served faithfully. Worshipping Bhagwan is superior to worshipping all the Devatas, but greater than that is worshipping the Vaishnavas who are the servants of Lord Krishna. Then observing festivals according to the means. Mahotsav means collecting articles within one's means and using them in Bhagwan's service and service of pure Vaishnavas. This is considered to be greatest festival. And respecting the month of Kartika, observing the month of Kartika involves performing seva of Sri Damodara by engaging in practicing like Shravana Kirtanam of the Lord and glorify the Lord in a regulated manner during this sacred month. Then observing Janmashtami in the month of Bhadrapada and Mahaprabhu's appearance day on the full moon day Purnima of Falguna is a significant practice for the devotees. And serving the Lord as a king, serving the deities with great enthusiasm and opulence is essential. Loving service attracts God's blessings, which is greater than liberation. And then relishing Srimad Bhagavatam in Sadhu Sangha. To understand and relish the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, one should associate with advanced devotees who are well versed in the rasa of devotional service. Ordinary discussions or hearing of scriptures in general assemblies may not lead to pure devotion. Then association of bhaktas in the same mood and affection, associating with whom who are advanced and superior to oneself is crucial for spiritual progress. The nature of one's sangha influences one's spiritual development. It is best to associate with those who are more advanced in devotion. Then the meaning of Nam Sankirtana. The Nama, which is the holy name, is transcendental and filled with divine consciousness. So one's heart is purified through bhakti. The holy name manifests on one tongue. Thus, incessant chanting of the holy name, either alone or in congregation, is essential. And the essence of instructions. The last 5 of the 64 angas are considered most exalted. Even a slightest connection with them, coupled with the avoidance of offenses, can lead to rise in bhava, a highly advanced stage. Then Babaji concludes emphasizing several essential points regarding bhakti, regarding Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, which is intermediate fruits. The scriptures sometimes describe intermediate fruits of the limbs of bhakti to attract those who are still attached to material desires. So, however, the ultimate and the most significant fruit of all these limbs is to develop attachment to Lord Krishna. So, the main focus of bhakti should be on nurturing attachment to Lord Krishna rather than seeking material gains. Then difference from jnana, karma and vairagya. Bhakti is distinct from these paths. While these paths may assist someone in initially approaching bhakti, they are not integral to the pure devotional service. And bhakti is characterized to be soft and tender in nature, while these paths are makes the hard. And genuine jnana and vairagya that arise naturally from bhakti are accepted, but they cannot cause bhakti. Then Yukta Vairagya, practitioners of bhakti should follow the principles of Yukta Vairagya, which means accepting material objects as necessary for the service of the Lord with detachment, rather than artificially renouncing them out of desire for liberation. Artificial renunciation, that is Falgu Vairagya, is discouraged. Then Falgu Bhakti should not be displayed for bhakti should not be displayed for ulterior motives such as acquiring wealth or disciples. Such insincere displays of bhakti are not genuine limbs of bhakti. Pure bhakti is free from such material desires and is solely motivated by love and devotion towards Lord Krishna. Then qualities of a devotee, certain qualities like discrimination, good conduct, cleanliness, austerity, sense control are natural traits of devotees who are favorable towards Lord Krishna. These qualities spontaneously manifest in sincere devotees and they do not need to be pursued separately. And principal limbs of bhakti. Some of the limbs of bhakti mentioned earlier are considered principal limbs, and a practitioner can attain perfection by firmly practicing any one or several of these principal limbs. Babaji's instructions provide clarity on the essence of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, that is regulated devotional practice, and emphasize the importance of genuine devotion and attachment to Lord Krishna. Vrajanatha and Vijay Kumara humbly accept these teachings and seek deliverance from their pride. These teachings offer valuable guidance for those aspiring to follow the path of pure devotion to the Supreme Lord. So this was a fairly lengthy chapter yesterday. Today, Prabhuji will continue with chapter 29. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. It took a little more time today because it was a long lesson. It is all right. So welcome once again all the devotees. So let us start with lesson 29. Lesson 29, as you see in this slide, there are 6 themes. They are Vrajanatha and Vijay Kumar. They received Vaishnava Diksha from Raghunath Das Babaji. Then we'll discuss about the nature and kinds of Ragatmika Bhakti, the nature and kinds of Raganuga Bhakti. Then very important thing, we'll discuss the souls externally in their male form follow Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, but internally in their original spiritual forms as female follow Raga Bhakti. How it is that we'll see. Then the difference between lust and love. This we have seen earlier also, but more of it we'll see today. And Babaji revealed Vrajanatha and Vijay Kumar's original name, form, garments, and spiritual body. Now, Vrajanatha and Vijay Kumar, how they received Vaishnava Diksha. As a child, Vrajanatha was initiated by his heavenly priest with the Gayatri mantra because of being born in a Brahmana family, but no initiation with any other mantras. They had learned from the Babaji that chanting a mantra given by an impersonalist guru, one goes to hell. Therefore, they decided to be properly reinitiated by a Vaishnava spiritual master. This we learned yesterday also in the yesterday's class. The next morning, they bathed in Ganges, decorated their bodies with 12 Vaishnava Tilaka markings, along with the sacred Brahmana thread and the Tulasi beads on their necks, offered their Dandavata obeisances to Babaji with great humility, begged to be mercifully initiated while admitting being fallen souls. They already had some beginning symptoms of Sattvika Bhava, ecstasy on their bodies. While meditating on their guru, Raghunath Das Goswami and Sri Radhakunda, one of the renowned 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana, Babaji happily initiated the nephew and uncle with the 18th syllable Vaishnava mantra. Not only that, the saintly Babaji himself felt purified upon becoming their spiritual master. Again and again, the 2 disciples took the dust of their guru's lotus feet, with those attending Vaishnavas gathered at the auspicious occasion. And while the conch shell sounded, playing kartalas and mridangas, The Vaishnavas sang as the Bhoga Arati being offered to Lord Chaitanya and the Panchatattva. Everyone ecstatically chanted and danced at the Sankirtana. Finally, they all sat down for honoring the prasadam, but the two disciples did that only after receiving the word from their Guru. That means one has to follow the words of the Guru. Then the various questions we will see being answered by Babaji. And the first is question number 141. What does the word raga means? Now please understand this raga, ragatmika, Vaidhi sadhana, bhakti, and all these things very, very carefully. This you have learned earlier also, but it is better to be very, very clear about these basic terminologies which we keep on using. Now, materialists fall in love with sensually attractive sense objects when they see their beauty. Now, the mind developing raga of the loving attachment. Whenever somebody sees a beautiful thing or a beautiful, hears a beautiful song like this, he develops raga. Like the family members, they develop raga for doing things for their family. That's why they work 24 hours in a day, but still they do not get tired. And the next point is when that raga love is placed for Lord Krishna as its only object, then it is called raga bhakti. And when this love exists in devotional service, becomes ragatmika bhakti. It is the eternal residence of Braja in the bodies by their very self. Atma, their ragatmika bhakti unto their beloved Sri Krishna. Very clearly and distinctly, the ragatmika bhaktas are the permanent residents of Braja who were there with the Lord Krishna. And if we or any devotee follows them, he becomes a Raganuga Bhakta. Now, so long as this Raga has not manifested itself, one follows Vaidhi Bhakti. Now, at this point of time, this love for Krishna has not arisen on its own. That is, spontaneously, it has not arisen in our hearts. That's why we are engaged in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti in accordance with scriptural injunctions. Now, fear and faith are the three aspects of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Now, and a intense desire to meet Krishna and associate with him in his pastimes is the main feature of Ragatmika Bhakti. And this is what the Brajavasis, the Gopis, they had, and they could never live without even a second, without Lord Krishna, without thinking of Lord Krishna, even though he was not in front of them many a times. Then the next question, who is qualified person to do Raga Bhakti? Now a person whose faith sets in scriptural injunctions is qualified to engage in Vaidhi Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. In an intense desire to attain Lord Krishna is qualified to engage in Ragatmika Bhakti. Now, a person who has a strong desire to love Krishna as the resident of Braja do is qualified to engage in Raganuga Bhakti. This is what we said. Then let us see the other questions. 143. Now, what are the qualities of this strong desire? We said strong desire for Krishna, to meet Krishna. Now, when a person qualified to engage in Vaidhi Bhakti, he hears the descriptions of Lord Krishna, he meditates on them using the intelligence, logic, and the scriptural evidence, everything, and he meditates on Lord Krishna's lotus feet. However, when a person following the path of Raganuga Bhakti hears the same description, he does not meditate on them using his intelligence, etc. Instead, he is overcome with the desire of love of Krishna as the Brajavasis do. That means this desire comes automatically to him, and that is what is the main difference. Then next we move on to 147. Now, what are the different kinds of Ragatmika Bhakti? Explain the difference between them. I'll just increase the size of this so that we can read. Just a second. Yeah, many persons have attained
Hare
liberation.
Krishna Prabhuji, Haribol.
Yes,
Prabhuji, right there on your slide, there's a magnifying glass is there, you know. See where
yes,
there's a yellow thing, the date is there, on the left side of is there, you know.
yes. Yes, Prabhuji, I am using in that. Many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up all sinful activities. This great attention due to 6 different ways. The gopis by lustful desires, the Kamsa by fear, Sisupala by envy. This verse is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Yadus by their familial relation with Krishna, the Pandavas by great attraction for Krishna, and Narada by devotion. And they have attained the perfection, all of them. And what are the kinds of Ragatmika Bhakti? And explain the difference between them. To this, what Babaji Mahasaya said, there are 2 types of Ragatmika Bhakti. One is Kama Rupa, of the devotion born from desires. And the second is Sambandhanuga, and that is or devotion born of familial relations. Now the Brajagopis with their lusty desires clearly falls in the category of Kama Rupa or devotion born from desire. And what about the Sambandhanuga or devotion born from familial relationship? Now when one identifies Krishna as Krishna's parents or other relatives, that is the Yadus, the Dwarkavasis, their devotional service is in the mood of familial relationship, which is first manifested in Braja. In Braja also, the elder Gopas and Gopis, they used to think him as their son and in various relationships. And also the Dwarkavasis. Then Babaji Mahasaya answers question 148. The affection of friendship with Krishna, however, is appropriate in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. In friendship, it is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Then let us go on to the next slide. Now, question number 144. What are the activities of Raganuga Bhakti? What does one do? What does the devotee does? And they yearn to become one of the Brajavasis in the spiritual world and serve Krishna directly there. And they want to render personal service to him in his Dharma. He always has that desire and discusses it with his fellow beings. He resides in Braja either with his external body or within his thoughts. That way he becomes a follower of the Brajavasis. And now one may ask how we can associate with the Brajavasis because they are the original Brajavasis who were there during Krishna's time, they are not there. This is what is the answer. Mentally, we can be there in our thoughts. And he always serves the Lord in 2 ways. Externally, he performs Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Internally, in his original spiritual forms, he serves the Lord in Raga Bhakti. This also we will see later on also. Now the question 145. What is the connection between the Raganuga and the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti? Now a person who is engaged in the Raganuga Bhakti also performs different activities of Sadhana Bhakti with his external body, such as hearing, chanting the glories of the Lord. However, in his heart, he is a follower of the eternal residents of Braja. And in this way, he tastes the nectar of always serving the Lord. That means he serves the Lord in 2 ways, in his external body and in his original spiritual form. And how is Raganuga Bhakti glorious? Now, by Raganuga Bhakti, which is both independent and very powerful, one quickly attains what takes a long time to attain in performing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, which is weak. By following in the footsteps of the eternal residents of Braja, the Ragatmika devotees, one attains raga or attachment. That means it is very fast. Whereas the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, it is a long process. But please remember, we by our own choice cannot attain this. It will come after we excel, we mature in Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. That comes at a later stage, not in the very beginning. Like for all of us, the spontaneous love for Krishna, it is not coming. When it comes, then you can go to that stage. Now that raga naturally pushes one to engage in hearing, chanting, and remembering the Lord's glory, serving in the lotus feet. All these things what we are doing, they will also carry on. Bowing down before the Lord and surrendering the very self, that is Atma Nivedan. Therefore, the attraction of the intense desire for Raganuga Bhakti is the inspiration that pushes one to spiritual life. And then question number 151, what are the two sentimental forms of Kama and Sambandha Rupa manifest in Raganuga Bhakti? And what are the qualities and their respective natures of Kamanuga in Raganuga Bhakti? Now, this is given in detail here. Kamarupa Bhakti into Kamanuga Bhakti. Now, first is Sambandha Ichamai, or yearning to enjoy. That means the desire to participate in Krishna's pastimes, Kali, with the Brajagopis. And now the second is Tattad Bhava Ichamai, or yearning for love. Now the desire to attain the sweetness of love that the Brajagopis felt for Krishna. These are the two things, and Sambandha Rupa Bhakti into Sambandha Anuga Bhakti. Let us, okay, this we have already seen. Okay, this we have already seen. Okay, next. Next here, questions 162 to 165. Please explain Raganuga Bhakti in the various familial relationships with Krishna. How does one follow in their footsteps? What rasa should I cultivate in Raganuga Bhakti? This is the question of Brajanath. Now to this, Babaji Mahasaya is saying, Sambandhanuga Bhakti, or devotional service and familial relationship with Krishna, has three components. One is Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, and Vatsalya Rasa. In Dasya Rasa, one feels I am a servant and Lord Krishna is my beloved master. And one should follow in the footsteps of the Raktaka, Patraka, they are the residents of Braja who used to personally look after Krishna. Krishna used to take bath in the morning, and these Raktaka and Patraka, they used to help him in that and in various other things. So this is the relationship in Dasya Rasa or servitorship. Then in Sakhya Rasa or friendship, Krishna is my dearest friend. One should follow in the footsteps of Subala and other friends of Krishna. And Vatsalya Rasa or parenthood, I am Lord Krishna's mom or dad. One should follow in the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mata, the parents of Krishna. And Sambandhanuga Bhakti is manifested in its purest form only among the Brajavasis. Following in the footsteps of the Ragatmika devotees, one will eventually be serving Lord Krishna directly. As to what particular rasa one should cultivate, he should follow his own natural inclination, then follow it through. One has to act naturally. And we'll see here in this case, Babaji will be revealing about Brajanatha and Vijay Kumara. And like this, the learning is, it will be revealed by the spiritual master at the appropriate time. Now, let us go on to the next slide. Question number 155. The souls externally in their male form follow Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, but internally in their original spiritual form as female follow Raga Bhakti. Like you see the Goswamis of Vrindavana, the 6 Goswamis, they were the Manjaris in Krishna's pastimes. And they were also following the same thing in their external body. They were doing Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, chanting, hearing like this. And in their original form as Manjaris, they used to serve Lord Krishna. Now, Lord Krishna is a male and the Brajagopis are female. Therefore, I can see that only women are qualified to practice this kind of Raganuga Bhakti. How can men be qualified to attain it? This doubt many devotees may have. And now the answer is, among both liberated and beginners engaged in sadhana bhakti, many souls with external male material bodies have original spiritual forms that are female. Now, each individual soul residing in the material world has an original spiritual form that manifests one of the five rasas. Four of these are present among the Brajavasis, not the Santa rasa. Besides Santa, there are Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. In Dasya rasa and Sakhya rasa, the males in this the rasas engage in direct service to Krishna, and in Vatsalya and Madhurya, only females serve the Lord either in the motherhood or Vatsalya or in conjugal rasa. Now, one doubt may appear to you that everybody has got a female the spiritual form. No, this will come up later. Like somebody may be the friend of Krishna, that will be a male form like this. Whatever is our natural inclination, that will present, that will give an indication what we are in our spiritual forms. That will also come up later here in today's class. Then let us go further. Question number 56. The souls externally in their male form follow Vaidhi Bhakti, but internally in their original spiritual form, they the form as a female follow Raga Bhakti. Now, how do the souls with male external body follow the footsteps of the Braja Gopis? Now, in different ways, as they are qualified, they become attracted to Sringar Rasa. Now, the example will come in point 4, you will understand that. Now, even though their external material form is male, their original spiritual form is female, is always present. It cannot be seen externally by others. The spiritual master will see the original spiritual form. And by following a particular gopi, one's original spiritual form is openly manifested. And in that original form, one serves Lord Krishna directly. This is how it comes. And what are the examples? In Padma Purana, it is given the sages of Dandakaranya who were attracted in Treta Yuga to Lord Ramachandra's handsomeness appeared as Brajagopis during Krishna Leela. This is the what is the example, and this is the proof. Let us go. Okay. Now we have come to break time. Let us have a 5 minutes break, and then we'll go on the we'll study the other things which will come up. Now, please remember that the very important aspects they are being taught in this lesson. Please be very, very clear. If you have any clarification to be made, please ask them at the end so that we can use the 30 minutes time very, very usefully and all our doubts should be clear. These things in brief have been discussed earlier also, but specifically they are coming up in this lesson. Please get them clarified. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
There are very, very important concepts here in this lesson, okay?
Yes.
You need to explain, don't just read it,
Okay.
explain it, because people will not understand otherwise, The love and lust phenomena, the male body and the spiritually female body, that you need to explain very, very clearly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Sadhguru.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, the raga of the gopis that you call raga or raga bhakti or raga atmika bhakti. What is the term for that?
That
The
is,
bhakti which gopis have, that is the raga bhakti, right?
yeah, that is Raga Bhakti only.
The gopis are
Okay.
ragatmika, they are the very self. But the we who is following raga nuga, the word anuga means following in their footsteps. So the raga bhakti could be two types, right? One who are the eternal residents of Brajvasis, they are called ragatmika. They are very atma, their very self is devoted that to Krishna in conjugal rasa. Or in Sakhya rasa also, Krishna's friends, Subala and others like that. So their very self is devoted like, or Krishna's parents. And the same way, those who are following in that particular rasa, those who are in Sakhya rasa, if they want to follow, they will follow in the footsteps of Subala and others like that. So they become Raga
Got it.
Anuga Bhakti. So Raga Bhakti, you have to consider what you're talking about. Whether are you talking about gopis, then they are actually Raga Atmika Bhakta. Okay. But if you're
Understood.
talking about people like us who are following, because internally we have that particular rasa with Krishna,
Mhm.
we want to have
Mhm.
Krishna as our friend, or we want to have Krishna as our son, or we want to really serve Krishna in a conjugal rasa. Even though we have a male body, we actually it has been explained in scriptures. There's only one male in the entire universe, and that only one male is Krishna. Actually, we are all females. We are part of Prakriti. Prakriti is a feminine word in Sanskrit, okay? Because we are Jiva Tattvas. Jiva Tattva is a feminine word. Did you follow that,
Yes,
Prabhuji?
yes, Swami. Very clear. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So spiritually, we are all females actually.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
So you want to be a father of Krishna, then in that case, you're internally also a male body, As explained in that particular slide, female means if you depend upon, you want to become a mother of Krishna, then that female, or the gopis in conjugal rasa. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Like another
Thank you,
example,
Prabhuji. Very clear.
I'll give. Sometime back we were talking about Kusuma Vilapa Kusumanjali by Raghunath Das Thakur. Now, what was happening in his external body? He was doing something, but when he remembered his spiritual body as Manjari, he was serving the divine couple Radha and Krishna. He used to do bilapa, he used to get agitated. and that is what is given in the Bilama Pusmanjali. Okay, and that means he was acting in his original, that is the external male body, and also in the internal or the original spiritual body also. Like all of us, we have got our this external body, maybe male or female, and internal body, the spiritual body. So all have
Chait-
got. Yes, yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a very good example. He's in a male body and he's Krishna, but his mood is actually in a female body, Srimati Radharani body. So he was always suffering in separation from Krishna as Sri Radha,
So
That's the best example.
it has to be understood that way. Now let us go further. Question number 157. Since the Brajagopis are the eternally liberated souls in the spiritual world, who descended to the material world to assist Krishna's pastimes, how do we understand that the sages were born as Brajagopis in Gokula? The question he is asking about the Dandakaranya, the rishis, how they were born as Brajagopis in Gokula, because they are not the eternal residents of Golak Vrindavan Dharma, and they are not eternally liberated. Now, let us hear about the answer. Now, in addition to the Nitya Siddha souls, many Sadhana Siddha souls also participated in the Lord Krishna's pastimes. Krishna had brought a lot many the Nitya Siddha gopis and gopals from Golak Vrindavana to assist in his pastimes. But in addition, they were also sadhana siddha souls. That means they were not nitya siddha. They did the sadhana bhakti and they came up to this level. They were also there in his pastime and worshipping Lord Krishna in Kamanuga bhakti. They took birth in Gokula, that is this Dandakaranya rishis, and certain Braja gopis who did not make it to the rasa dance abandoned their external material bodies. Remember, abandoned their external material bodies without dying and regained their original spiritual forms. This is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and many of them previously when the sages of Dandakaranya, not all of them, but many of them were the Dandakaranya rishis, and they had become that they achieved that form, and they were taking part in the Leela of Lord Krishna. Now, those who have developed ruchi for Sringara Rasa, according to their adhikara, maybe male outwardly, but their spiritual body, that is the Siddha Sarira, has a female form. In that Siddha Sarira, they engage in Krishna's service, following in the footsteps of a particular gopi, according to their ruchi and inherent swabhava. Now, Padma Purana describes the males who possess this kind of bhava, and when the Dandakaranya rishis, they saw Ramachandra, this incident we saw. Then thereafter, we learned that those who were Nitya Siddha gopis, they easily participated in their Asa dance. They could go out from their house, even though their so-called husbands and other in-laws, they objected to it, but still they could go. But others had taken birth as gopis after attaining Siddhi through Kamarupa Sadhana Bhakti. That is, these people, and they attained their Prakarata Swarupa by rendering Manasa Seva to Krishna. And these were mainly the rishis of Dandakaranya. Now, let us go on to the next slide.
Some of them were the demigoddesses were there,
Yes, yes, some of them were demigods, demigoddesses were there. They also took part in the Rasa Leela. Now, which gopis were eternally liberated and which became liberated by engaging in devotional service? This is what is the question by Brajanatha. And what Babaji Mahasaya is answering, Nitya Siddha or eternally liberated and manifested by the Lord Swarupa Shakti. They are eternally liberated, and at no point of time they were subjected to the three modes of material nature. We are talking about them. And in that, Srimati Radharani, who is Lord Krishna Swarupa Shakti, or the internal potency, expands into all these forms. Firstly, her 8 close friends, the Ashtasakis, men Sakis, Lalita Pichaka, and all that, and expands into forms of other gopis. And in Brahma Vaivarta Purana, we have learned that all these gopis, they originated from Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is the internal energy of the Supreme Lord. That means these gopis, these Nitya Siddha gopis, they are they have originated from the internal energy of the Supreme Lord. And the other gopis, the Sakhis, the sadhana siddhas who attend liberation by devotional service, they also appeared. Now, through the Lord's Nadini Shakti, they attained Salokya Mukti and became a part of Sri Radha's group of Sakhis. And this is what is the complete answer of how the Dandakaranya rishis, they became gopis, and how they could take part in the Rasa dance along with the Nitya Siddha gopis, along with Srimati Radharani, the Ashtasakis, and the other millions and billions of gopis. And these gopis were also there. This is what is the explanation. Let us go on to the next slide. Now, this is given in 3 parts. Okay, first, let us see this 159 and 160, then we see the other. How does one become purified of the desire to enjoy Riramsa, enjoy Krishna, which means the desire that the Lord will become one's husband? How does it come? Now, those devotees who have accepted the role of Krishna's queens should renounce all pride and humbly serve the Lord as wife serves her husband. This is, we are talking of the Mahishis of Krishna, that is in Dwarka Leela. And however, even if they do this, these devotees may not attain the desire to become one of the Brajagopis. They have no such desire, and that's why they are different. That is, the Mahishis, the queens are different, and the gopis are different, but out of them the greatest are the gopis. That's why when Krishna went to Kurukshetra on the occasion of the solar eclipse, how the Mahishis, they were respecting the Brajavasis, basically the gopis, and what transpired between them and Srimati Radharani, that we already know. Now, the next question is, please explain more clearly. Now, Babaji Mahasaya is saying devotees aspire to attain Krishna as their husband. That is, in the Sokya Bhava, becomes the Lord's queens, the Mahishis, and those devotees cannot taste the rasa where Krishna is the one's paramar, that is in the Parakya Bhava or rasa released by the Brajagopis. Now, only the Brajagopis, they have this Parakya Bhava, they test this Bhava, and the queens, they test the Sokya Bhava. Now, we'll talk about this in more detail. For this reason, these devotees cannot follow in the footsteps of the gopis. only by following the path of Raganuga Bhakti and cherishing the idea that Krishna is one's paramount, Parakya Bhava, one can attain the rasa of the Brajagopis. Now this Parakya Bhava, which we have also studied in the Radha Tattva and in many other courses earlier, this is relished by the Brajagopis only. It cannot be relished by anybody else. And anything anybody claims he is or she is relishing this Parama Bhava, that is not the correct explanation. Now, let us see very important things, important explanations. What is the nature of devotional service with lusty desires? That is the
This is
Kama.
extremely important slide, Prabhuji. Extremely important slide. All the devotees, please listen to Sharad Prabhuji very, very carefully. Going to explain nicely,
Because this doubt everybody has got, because in the material world we use these words interchangeably and we think these the two words are the same, lust and desire. But we should understand what actually is lusty desire means the thirst to enjoy. Lust means to enjoy. Enjoy means herself trying to enjoy. And when manifested in Ragatmika Bhakti, it results in causeless love for Krishna. That means this lusty desires, this we see the gopis were lusty. In that sense, when we say it means that they have transferred this love to enjoy to Lord Krishna. That means they want Krishna to enjoy, not themselves to enjoy. And the devotees enjoy in the association of and acts only to please Krishna. Their only aim is to please Krishna, not to get pleased herself. That is what is the difference between the Kama and Prema that we have learned earlier. This in greater detail we are seeing here in this slide. So what I have said so far, the lust means material lust is thirst to enjoy, but in the transcendental form, in the spiritual world, the Ragatmika Bhaktas, that is the Braja Gopis, they had causeless love for Krishna. That means they wanted Krishna to enjoy. Because as we know, Krishna is the enjoyer. And we, everybody, the Prakriti is enjoyer. So that's why there is no question of any person enjoying, because that privilege only goes to Lord Krishna. And the devotees do not act for his happiness, but only to please Krishna. That is the only difference. And the devotee's pleasure is Krishna's pleasure. When Krishna is happy, the devotee is happy. When Krishna is not happy, the devotee is not happy. And this is perfectly manifested in the Braja Gopis only. And they understood, as we study Srimad Bhagavatam, we know that their only life was only for Lord Krishna. They were thinking 24 hours in a day about Krishna. And they were thinking how to please him, how to make him happy. And because of its qualities of sweetness and playfulness, Panditas equate the gopis' love, prema, to lusty desires, kama. And this is for description only. Kama gopis, this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is used like that. But we understand kama in the material world, which is different in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, it is transformed, rather transferred to Lord Krishna. The lusty desires that Kubja manifested in Mathura are called Kama Praya, resembling lusty desires in the material world, but not quite. That means it is little different from the lusty desires which we talk of in the material world, and it is not Prema also. It is in between. This also we have studied in very much greater detail. And then the second part is lusty desire, means thirst to enjoy. When manifested in the material world, It is controlled by the modes of nature, that is the three modes of material nature. But as we know, in the spiritual world or in the transcendental transactions, there is no role of Maya. The Maya, the three modes, they are not acting in it. The internal potency of the Lord, it is acting. And unlike the gopis, goal of the materialist is how his beloved can give him the highest pleasure. The gopis, their only aim is to give Krishna the highest pleasure, not to attain the highest pleasure themselves. The thirst to enjoy thus becomes wretched, lonely, and filled with faults because of this thing in the material world. And this is what is the difference between the lust and love. Lust, this is in the material world. Love or prema, that is in the spiritual world or in the transcendental directions. Because the main difference is here in the material world, the individual wants to get satisfied, but in the spiritual world or in the transcendental transactions, the devotee wants Lord Krishna to enjoy. He is the main thing, and that is what is the basic difference between and that this is the nature of the lust desires. This I hope you have understood. And if there are any questions, we discuss about them in the last in the question answer session. Then let us see. Difference between lust and love. Love means different kinds of emotions one feels in raga bhakti unto Krishna. Lust enjoys with the material sense is an emotion that is worthless, degraded. Even Kubja's material lust, Prakrata Prema, though directed to Krishna, cannot match the spiritual lust, that is the Aprakrata Kama of the gopis. That's what I said. It is different from the material Kama, and it is different from the spiritual Kama also. It is in between. Raga Bhakti in conjugal love for Krishna, and the Brajagopis uniquely execute the spirit of lust, Kama, though this lust is selfless prema, unlike in the material world. Please understand that it is this lust is selfless. They do not want anything for themselves, but they want it for Krishna. They want Krishna to enjoy, Krishna to be happy. And when Krishna is happy, the gopis are happy. And then next, Babaji revealed Brajanatha and Vijay Kumara's original name, form, garments, and spiritual body. Now, from each of them, Babaji first learned of their natural inclination. He asked them first, what is your natural inclination? What do you like? And that thereafter, based on that, he revealed Babaji's own spiritual form emerged, though differently in their hearts. Now regarding Brajanatha, both were there, Brajanatha and Vijay Kumara. Now he speaks first to Brajanatha. He said his spiritual form as the follower of Subala, since he desired to assist Subala in gathering the strayed calves, have them drink water, and then bring them to Krishna, who is sitting down and playing his flute under a tree. That means he was a Gopa, and he saw Babaji in his heart as an incarnation of Subala. That is, Babaji was Subala only, and Brajanatha in his spiritual form was helping Babaji, that is Subala, in tending the cows. And Vijay Kumara saw Babaji as an incarnation of Lalita Sakhi. Lalita Sakhi also. Then the second, Vijay Kumara. Vijay Kumara, he yearned to assist Srimati Lalita Sakhi in her service to divine couple, such as making flower garlands. So Babaji surmised that he is a Manjari and follower of Lalita Sakhi, and Vijay Kumara saw Babaji as an incarnation of Lalita Sakhi. Now you may ask a question Vijay Kumar saw Babaji as Lalita Sakhi, and Brajanath saw Babaji as incarnation of Subala. How both the things can happen at the same time? Yes, both the things can happen at the same time, because in the spiritual world, with the different inclinations, one can have different forms also. And there is no doubt about it. That means both now Vijay Kumara and Brajanath, they gained their original identity, and they came to know what they are in the spiritual world, though they were in their present form in the material world. They were Brajanath and Vijay Kumar. Now, I hope I have made the things somewhat clear in this limited time frame, because this is a very, very most important concept. We should be very, very clear in our mind, otherwise a lot of doubts will come. However, in this question answer session of half an hour, we'll try to answer all your doubts and clear them, so that your mind is clear about these concepts. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for a wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, in the I have a question that in the slide number 8, Lord Krishna is a male and Vraja Gopis are all female. Therefore, I can see that only women are qualified to practice this kind of Raganuga Bhakti. How can men be qualified to attain it, Prabhu? So I'm just need some clarification on this one. Like even the Gopa friends are also there. They are serving in particular rasa in Raganuga Bhakti, is it? So just
Not
I want to.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay.
I also have on top of that one small question kind of thing, Prabhu. Maybe both are related, so you can combine and you can give an answer, Prabhu. Yeah,
Okay.
if you permit. Okay,
Yes.
Prabhu. My confusion is something like this, Prabhu. Okay, see, at one time, okay, we are saying that only Purusha is Krishna, and we are all females, Prabhu.
Yes.
Okay, and other side we are saying that Krishna has a friends, Gopa friends, Prabhu, even in Goloka Vrindavan.
Yes.
So it is basically, it is not a body, Prabhu. We understand that. It is a spiritual body. So spiritual body also has a male and female. So is that male and female opposite attraction is not there? Or because it is not there, we are saying that everyone is female only. So that clarification required, Prabhu. Okay.
Okay. The Charu Prabhuji.
First you explain, then I'll explain later.
Okay. I think both are related.
I want to give a chance to Sharad Prabhuji. It's a very important question, Prabhuji. Sharad Prabhuji, very, very important question. In fact, Rajnath asked exactly the same question what Raju Prabhu is asking exactly, you know.
Yes.
And the second part of the prasad that Prabhu is asking, that's also a very important point he's asking, you know.
Yes, Prabhu. I am done, Prabhu, on the question.
Rajiv Prabhuji, you want to add to your question?
In the page number 8, Prabhu, it is saying that
Yeah.
Lord Krishna is a male, Vraja Gopis are all female. Therefore, I can see only women are qualified to practice this kind of Raganuga Bhakti. But what about the Gopa friends? You know, so they are also serving Krishna in different rasa, Dasya rasa, Sakya rasa, all this stuff is there. If you take,
and they have children also. And they have children also.
Yeah, and if you take Hanumanji, he is serving in a Sakya rasa. But how these are all a bit of a.
Hanumanji is in a Dasya Rasa.
That's it.
Yes. So, I mean, they are serving, rasa is a differ, but they are serving in a, that is the highest level of platform is Raga Bhakti, they are all serving Prabhu. So, I might be wrong. Just I want to understand.
Sharad Prabhuji, if you permit me to save the time, let me address directly to them, okay? That's okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
First, Raju Prabhu. The question you first asked, and then later you little bit changed that. The first you asked question, how is it possible those in the male bodies, and they can still be a female in the conjugal rasa. So that part is actually applies to one who is in a conjugal rasa. Okay. Now here, exactly the same question Brajnath asked, and Babaji, what he answered, that external body was a male. Okay. Just like what you are saying, that externally male, but internally spiritual form is a female in that sense, because internally the mood is in conjugal conjugal rasa mood is there, so they serve internally as a female for a conjugal rasa. Okay. Now for the gopas, remember, everybody is serving Krishna according to what is Krishna's desire. Anukula yena Krishnano, Shilanam Bhakti Uchyate, right? So these gopas, they are obviously males, and they are serving as a male friend, sakhas, to Krishna. But those who are, now those are the eternal residents, okay? Subala and other gopas, they are eternal. And gopis are also eternal, okay? But those of us who are not eternally Nitya Siddha, but if we become sadhana Siddha, if we become successful in our devotional service, then our internal mood is going to be served by exactly that way. Because internally, if we want to serve Krishna as his friend, then internally, even though we have whatever the Krishna desires, that particular form, the internal form, will be there. Of course, by and large, as a part of Prakriti. Now don't get confused with the eternal residents of Raja versus us, those who become sadhana siddha. Okay, so there is a distinction is there. So those of us who want to follow in that particular rasa, either in the Sakhya rasa, Dasya rasa, conjugal rasa, or Vatsalya rasa, depending upon that. So only those of us on Dasya rasa, in Sakhya rasa, like Hanumanji, that somebody said about Hanumanji, right? So exactly in that rasa, then that person internally in spiritual form is also male in that sense. Whereas those of us, Raganuga Bhakta, who want to serve Krishna as, let's say, Krishna's Krishna's paternal form. Let's say if I want to serve Krishna as my son, then obviously I'll be a father figure. Or if I want to become a mother of Krishna, then clearly my spiritual form will be a female body, even though I could be a male. Okay. Now, those of in the conjugal rasa, this is a special case. Apart from all these other things that we are talking about, conjugal rasa, the male body, even the external is there, but internally we are female, and we are in conjugal rasa. We are following the Ragatmika Bhakta, the gopis, in their footsteps. We are serving that. So that was the part. Raju Prabhu, am I answering your point?
Yes, Prabhu, completely. Yeah, I got it. I mean, basically.
So that's exactly Babaji gave the answer to that Brajnatha. He asked the exact same question. But then the second part, that when you asked about the gopas, that also I explained you in that regard. Because the internal, in what form Krishna desires, they are serving according to them. Like for in Golok Vrindavan Dham, Golok, in spiritual world, there are many liberated souls. Everybody's liberated soul right there. But some of them are animals like cows. Some of them are like birds, like so and like that. So they are serving Krishna in exactly in that particular form. That whatever the form Krishna desires. I'm talking in spiritual world. Okay.
Yes.
The spiritual world, everybody's liberated soul, and everybody are in the fixed age. So those who are serving, like Nanda Baba is in a middle-aged person. Okay, so he remains in middle age eternally, because in Golok Vrindavan Dham, in spiritual world, there is no past, there is no future, eternal present form.
Yes.
So Nanda Baba remains that particular middle-aged body form for Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's desire. Okay.
Yeah.
Same way, his Gopa friends are of the same age like Krishna, so they remain as same as Krishna's age, and so on, like others. Now coming back to the Prasad Prabhu's point is also exactly in that same form that normally see that you have what you are both of you are getting confused about comparing with the Ragatmika Bhakta, those eternal residents of Braja, versus we, Sadhana Siddha. Now, obviously, you and me are not yet Sadhana Siddha yet. We have a long way to go, but just assume that those of us who are Sadhana Siddha, who are perfected the devotional service as a Raganuga Bhakta, but we are eternally Prakriti. Part of Prakriti means feminine, right? But Krishna wants to desire in a particular way to serve. So that way, exactly what Prasad Prabhu is asking, exactly the same way, even though we are by part of being a Prakriti, we are females. The only male is Krishna. But when Krishna wants to have a service from us as his close friend, Sakha, then we will be our serving as a Sakha. Okay. Our spiritual form will be in that mood actually. It's the spiritual form will take a particular form depending on what mood we want to serve as Krishna, to serve to Krishna. Prasad Prabhu, am I answering your question?
Yes, Prabhu, I understood, Prabhu. So the spiritual form may change, Prabhu, or it may not change, but it will be in that form only.
In that form, we'll serve that exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll get that particular form. Like, see, now, for instance, this both Vrajinath and Vijay Kumar, they saw Babaji in completely opposite forms, right? Vrajinath saw Babaji as an expansion of Subala.
Mm.
Same way, the other way, the Vijay Kumar, in his mood, in his heart, he has a mood of seeing Babaji as an expansion of Vishaka Devi because they want to serve Babaji in that particular category, that particular mood. So they all saw Babaji like that. So if you think logically, material logic will not work here. How could the same person be simultaneously two different persons? But we are talking about spiritual forms, right? In spiritual forms, everything just like Krishna. Krishna can appear differently to all of us the way we want to see Krishna. Krishna will exactly appear the way we want to see Krishna. Some people are Rama Bhakta, Lord Ramachandra Bhakta. He will appear as Lord Ramachandra. And someone wants to see in different form Krishna, then Krishna will exactly appear. So same way, Krishna's devotees, Babaji is a very, very pure devotee of the Lord. So Babaji also will appear differently to both his disciples.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, understood, Prabhu.
Because the mood is like that.
Mood is
And
like that.
Babaji will be an spiritual expansion. That way, you can think like that. Part of Krishna's group, Krishna's confidential associates, he appeared here in this world, material world. He's a liberated soul. But when he appeared here, he is exactly serving Krishna to his disciples in that particular category. Just like we want to see Krishna in different forms, different ways simultaneously, you and I might be seeing Krishna completely differently. And Krishna will appear exactly differently to us. Same way, Krishna's confidential associates also will be empowered by Krishna to appear differently to his disciples. Spiritual master also like that can appear differently because they are all part of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
I hope the things are very clear.
Does this make sense? Does this make sense, Raju Prabhu and
Yes,
Prasad
Prabhu.
Prabhu?
Yes.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
So the nutshell answer is like you may have a different spiritual forms as well, depending
So
upon
you have
how
to
you want to
consider,
serve. Okay.
don't think about the eternal residents. We are talking about the Raganuga Bhakta. Those of us are here now. Those who are sadhana siddha. Okay.
Hmm.
Then you will not
And
be confused.
This one, if you don't, I don't want to take too much time. If others have questions, please go on. If not, I'll go for our next round. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question, or have you understood this?
Yeah, probably. Is it correct to say then Lalita and Subala are same personalities extending in different forms?
No. Yes. Like Babaji, one is seeing him as Lalita Sakhi, another is seeing him as Subala. Actually, they can appear differently as per the mood of the individuals, the mentality, and the conception of the devotees. That can happen, and one may appear in many forms. I'll give one example. Like Arjuna. Arjuna had three forms. Like many other devotees you find in the Ganodesh Deepika, there are many devotees who appeared during the Leela of Lord Chaitanya. One person is a mixture of 2-3 personalities. That can happen. That is possible.
I see. To got it. Okay.
Remember Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they were all Manjaris in Krishna Leela, right? In women form, feminine form. But when Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then they were in the male forms to assist Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes.
Yes. Got it.
In the spiritual world, that is, since the Lord has got inconceivable energy, there is nothing which is impossible, which may seem impossible to us from our material eyes. That is what is the difference. And all the things cannot be actually understood by logic. That's why we say what is given in the scriptures, we have to take them as it is. So that is what we have to have Shraddha. So all these things are related because of that. I hope these things are very, very clear to all the devotees. Others who are not asking any questions, they may
Yes,
be same doubt.
ultimately, it's ultimately is the inconceivable potency of Lord, which also manifests through his devotees. Yes, but
Yes.
that's very interesting. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Radha Vinod Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'll go back to Prasad Prabhu's question. He asked, generally in a material world, all are Prakriti. Okay, and so, Krishna is only male. His question on his spiritual world, there's a male as well as a female. So both are existing. So that was his question. Correct, Prasad Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu, you are correct.
So again, I just I want both of you to answer because these questions hang up. Is it the mood that male is also served Krishna? Is that the mood? It's called Prakriti, or physical form is called Prakriti. In this life, like all of we are male, but we serve him as a Prakriti. That's a service. Is that service attitude discussed here, or because there are physically males are there, physically females are there in the spiritual world that is existing. Right. So that confusion. Yes, Prabhuji, I do have that same thing. Please explain.
You are asking if it is the mood which decides whether one should have a female form or a male form.
No. Okay. So let me go back again, Prasad Prabhu. First question is that it is always said that there's only one Purusha and rest of the all female. So let's settle here. Let's go ahead with only that. Second thing, Prasad Prabhu said, in a spiritual world, we observe that there are Gopas available. That means Gopas are in a male form. So is it always that Krishna is only male and all are female, or it is a circumstantial, kind of, you can interpret different way now?
No, Radha Vinod Prabhu, just as I explained to Prasad Prabhu, let me explain again from a slightly different angle actually. In the material world, when we say Prakriti, that is material world, right? Radha Vinod Prabhu, please answer me.
Yes.
Prakriti is material world, right?
Yes.
But in material world, those of us who are controlled by the three modes of material nature, keep that person, those people sideways, okay? Now we are talking about sadhana siddha devotees who are, even though in material world, the three modes of material nature are not acting on them. They are not under that influence. So they are not going to be controlled by the rules of Prakriti and things like that. The Prakriti also will serve Krishna as Krishna desires. So even in this material world, we are part of Prakriti, we are feminine, but if Krishna wants us to serve him, or we have the mood to serve Krishna as his friend, as his Sakha, then even though we are part of Prakriti being a female, we will appear as a male form, our spiritual form will be in that form to serve Krishna in that regard. So you have to understand, see, we are all dogmatized. It is difficult to get out of that dogmatic thought. So on one side, it's correct, okay, that we are part of Prakriti, we are feminine to be meant to serve Krishna, but depending upon, are we free from the three modes of material nature or not? Okay, we are not talking about those people who are in the influence, under the influence of the three modes of material nature. We are talking about all liberated souls, and liberated souls are completely out of that regulation by the three modes of Maya's influence. Okay, so in that regard, because we have the spiritual forms, in spiritual form, by definition, is not under the jurisdiction of Maya's three modes. Okay, so then even in this world, this material world, but liberated souls, liberated by their devotional service, sadhana siddha, they will work because their spiritual form is completely independent of the Maya. So you have to remove your dogmatic thought. Okay, so that Prakriti that I told you about, that by nature we are all feminines, there is for all of us, those who are even in the under the control of the three modes of material nature, that will appear there. So we are meant to serve Krishna in that regard. But we can serve Krishna in many different ways, either as his sakhas in a male form, or as his parents, male and female forms, mother and father, or his conjugal, his feminine. So then in that case, so mostly this applies to those who are in the feminine conjugal rasa. So there, the spiritual form will be feminine form. So that is what Krishna desires. And that's what the devotee's mood is also in that regard. Now, am I making clear now?
Yeah, Prabhuji, makes sense. Maybe first time I
We
missed
have to,
something.
we have
You
to
explained
forget,
it.
we have to separate those of under the influence the Maya's three modes, then the rule of Prakriti will work. Okay, that instruction for us that we are all feminine to serve Krishna, but serving Krishna in what so many different regards. Do we want to serve as Krishna's gopas, the male friends, sakhas, or do we want to serve Krishna as his parents, or do we want to serve Krishna as the gopis serving in their footsteps? So depending upon that, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
When we use the word serve in the material world, those of us who are still under the control of the three modes of material nature, then serving as a feminine means Krishna wants to enjoy us. But Krishna wants to enjoy not necessarily as his lovers. Krishna wants to enjoy us as his sakhas also could be. Do you understand that?
Yes, Prabhuji, makes sense. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. So,
Thank you.
Prabhuji, another question, you go ahead with the rest of the questions from everybody. Kubja's question, it's a material lust or spiritual. Maybe if you have time until the end, just let's clarify on that.
I think Sharpur explained very nicely. Sharpur, you can repeat your explanation about Kubja. It's in between.
You see, Puja, we are saying if we express our love to Krishna, it is transcendental. Kubja also expressed her love for Krishna only, none other than Krishna. But there was a little self-interest in that Radha Tattva course. We have learned in great detail about that. There is a self-interest. She is not equal to the gopis, and she is not equal to the normal human beings also, like us, troubled by the three modes of material nature. That's why her love is in between. That is not completely transcendental love, not material love also. But
So she wanted to enjoy Krishna by herself, but she wanted to enjoy by Krishna. Okay, that was a big difference. Okay, so because her interest focused on Krishna, so she was separate from people like us on the material world, but not exactly like gopis either, because gopis' goal is to satisfy Krishna's senses. Here, Kubja wanted to, initially in the beginning, she wanted to enjoy Krishna by herself. But then later, after association with Krishna, when Krishna actually visited, spent a night actually with her, then her things change actually by Krishna's influence. But that her lust was not exactly like a materialistic people like us, neither was like gopis, in between.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. This Prabhuji have said so much. Let us have some Mataji also ask the same question if they have understood correctly.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी,
Yes.
दंडवत प्रणाम। प्रभु जी, मेरा कंफ्यूजन ये है कि अगर हम बाय नेचर फेमिनाइन है सब, तो फिर इतना मेल ईगो क्यों होता है सब में? बहुत ही हाई लेवल का मेल ईगो, तो उसका क्या रीजन हो सकता है प्रभु जी?
We are neither male nor female. Like if we say we are Atmas, we are the souls. Soul is neither male or female, but achieving having different bodies as male and female. As Charprabhuji has discussed very, very clearly, you have to segregate the people who are afflicted by the three modes of material nature and those who are liberated. And those who are liberated, they can have any form as per the wish of Lord Krishna. And wish of Lord Krishna, that will depend on our attitude, our mentality also. Because like the same dish is not liked by everybody. Therefore, say the parental affection, that will not be liked by everybody. Somebody would like to serve him as a servant, or as a friend, or as a lover. So that it will depend upon that and entirely upon the discretion of Lord Krishna who will achieve that form. So that's why this thing is there. We have to think little carefully, and we have to segregate these two things. We should not mix up. And we should never compare ourselves with the eternally liberated souls, that is the Gopas and the Gopis who are assisting Krishna in his pastime.
Okay, now let's take Raju Prabhu's question. Anybody else wants to ask? Anybody else?
Question on this aspect?
Let's take few minutes extra and let's satisfy Raju Prabhu's question. Raju Prabhu has still more questions.
Prabhu is already time up, Prabhu. But anyway, I'll put a question.
You can take few minutes more. 5 minutes more.
This bhava, the eternal relationship with the Krishna, is revealed by our spiritual master in its own time. That's what I heard a couple of times, Prabhu. Am I correct, Prabhu, saying that one?
Yes, yes. When we come up to that level, he
will reveal that one. Okay, that's what one question. And secondly, you did mention in our very long back, there is some gopis from the Ramayana. So they made that molten golden form they are also part of this Nitya Siddha Gopis, Sadhana Siddha Gopis. That is what I missed the link, Prabhu, to be honest with you. It is not nowhere there in the slides or something like that. So if you have a couple of minutes, you can read, or next week also we can find that.
Yes. Like what happened once Sita was banished, every day when Lord Rama, he used to do his rituals, there the wife is to be there. That's why there was a the Sita made of gold, and every day it used to be changed. And he ruled for how many years? One Purana says 11,000 years, another Purana says 13,000 years. That means say about 11,000 years into 12 or into 365. That many number of Sitas, they also became the associates of Krishna. Now please here don't think that Krishna and Rama are different, they are the same. They also were part of this entourage. That's what I said that time.
Yeah, they are all Sadhana Siddha, Nitya Siddha Gopis, is it? The
Yes.
golden mode. Yeah, okay.
Anybody who is in the entourage of the Lord, when he comes to this material world, they are the Nitya Siddhas. We can become Sadhana Siddhas. Now we are conditioned souls.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, it completely makes sense. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Any other question? Prabhuji, it seems there are no questions. We'll end today's
हरे
class.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी, वन पॉइंट प्रभु जी हम तो अभी साधना लेवल पे ही है, तो हम सिर्फ ये कर सकते हैं कि हम भगवान को सिर्फ अहेतु की सेवा कर सके, बस इतना हम कर सकते हैं प्रभु जी कि हम कुछ अहेतु की ही करें बस, और भगवान से हो सके इतनी सेवा करें और प्रेम करें बस, क्योंकि ये सब तो बहुत ही आगे का लेवल होता है। तो स्टार्टिंग में हम यही सीख सकते कि भगवान से कुछ मांगे नहीं बस।
Yes, at our level, what you said, I will simplify it more. We can only chant the Lord's name, and that covers everything, and he will become happy one day, and he will fulfill our desires and his desires also, because he is very much interested for us to go to his kingdom also. So the gist is we should chant the name of the Lord, but that's all. Do sadhu sangha and all these things we have been discussing, and nothing more.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, you want to say something more?
No, I think if there are no more questions, let's conclude the class.
We'll conclude the class with the Nrsimha prayer. So then, Sagar Prabhuji, please conclude the class.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obsession. All go to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhai. Namaste Narasimhai. Prahlada Dahine. Prahlada Dahine. Hiranyakasi Purvakshal. Hiranyakasi Purvakshal. Shilatankar Nathale. Shilatankar Nathale. Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha. Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha. Itetayami to Narsingha. Itetayami to Narsingha. By Narsingha, Viday Narsingha. By Narsingha, Viday Narsingha. Narasimhamadin Saranam Prapade. Narasimhamadin Saranam Prapade. Akala Kamala Bhare. Nakha Singam Dhalita Hiranyakasipur Tanubringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hari Jai Jagadisha Hari Jai Jagadisha Hari Tava Kala Kamala Bhare नखाद्भुत सिंगम धरिता हिरण्यकशिपूर्तनुभृंगम केशवदीता नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे। नरसिंह भगवान की जय, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, चारू प्रभु की जय, शरद प्रभु की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, ऑल assembled devotee की जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण चारू प्रभु शरद प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम।
Dharma Pranam Prabhuji.
Thank you, Sagar Prabhuji. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all the assembled devotees. Thank you very much. Then we meet next weekend.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Benji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.